Good day.
I'm Laika Maides Calyar.
I'm Leandro Chavez Manegdeg.
I am Briselde Mayor Pitos,
We
and
We
are
we're
are
the
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 Group
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 5.
5.
5.
We're
We're
here to
We're
hereby
hereby
to
to
present
present
our
our
research
research
study
study
entitled
entitled
learning to
The
The
students of
Effectiveness of
Effectiveness of
E-Learning to
E-Learning to
Students of
Students of
Carlos P.
Carlos P.
Romulo
Romulo
Senior
Senior
High
High
School
School
during
during
pandemic
school
school
year
year
2020
2020
to
to
2021.
2021. A research presented to a faculty of Carlos P. Romulo Senior High School in partial fulfillment of the requirements in inquiries, investigation, and immersion. The effect of online communication or digital interaction is the equivalent of face-to-face socialization, gathering information, awareness, and acknowledgement. Empowering a sense of solidarity in online education will make each informative opportunity of students in Carlos P. Romulo Senior High School are more pleasant and thus allow them to stay involved in their educational journey. Due to the outbreak, various educational establishments were closed down. Students were required to stay home from school and work during the closure period.
Here are the keywords from the Chapter 2 of Review of Related Literature. Distance learning. Technology enables students and teachers to be in different locations during the learning phases. Student-centered. Online learning is more student-centered, allowing students to take greater accountability and autonomy in their learning. E-learning issues and difficulties. E-learning does not demonstrate the presence of deep and substantive learning in class where the participation of lecturers is minimal. Social factor. It is difficult to conduct a two-way communication as desired by the students in online learning. Accessibility. The connectivity factor is one of the impending factors of online learning, as it affects establishments and implementation of online learning among students. Academician skill. This study identified the capacity of academician as one of the problems of online learning. In this study, we identify accessibility, academician skills, problems, the problems that students may encounter on online learning, ICT literacy, and financial. Financial is the independent variables. Meanwhile, the effectiveness of e-learning is identified as dependent variable.
The instruments used in this research to collect data from the respondents is through e-survey. After finalizing and plotting the list of participants, respondents should already debrief or inform about the research. The survey contains research questions that will electronically distributed to students of Carlos P. Romulo Senior High School, whose name are randomly selected. The survey questionnaire consisted of 4 sections. First, basic demographics. Second, advantages and disadvantages of e-learning. Third, comparison between face-to-face learning and e-learning in terms of ability to master learning. Objectives, knowledge, academic skills, and social competences. Fourth, acceptance of e-learning. Survey questionnaires were provided to students who were randomly chosen. The reason for choosing to use the questionnaire approach as form of data collection for this study is that it is an accessible and expensive way to collect data from a large prospective participants. Questionnaires also encourage the investigator to carefully analyze the answers and often allow respondents to have more time to think more about the questions posed before answering them, so the consistency of information obtained would be much higher. Questionnaires are an effective data collection tool according to Sikaran of 2000, through which the investigator may tailor his/her questionnaires to more knowledgeable respondents and obtain better data quality.
Chapter 4. This chapter presents the gathered data pertaining to the effectiveness of e-learning to the students of Carlos P. Romulo Senior High School during pandemic school year 2020 to 2021. Data gathered are presented in tabular form and a pie chart interpreted and analyzed. Study reveals that majority of respondents with 48.2%, 27 in total, preferred to use laptop for their online learning amid pandemic. Number 2, the study shows respondents with 75%, 42 in total, have a moderate level of IT skills. Number 3, about 80.4%, 45 respondents in total, have the grades higher than the previous school year. The remaining 19.6 or 11 respondents in total got their grades lower than the previous school year. Number 4, the greatest advantage of e-learning according to the study is the ability to stay at home, which received the highest rating of 83.9%, 47 votes in total. Meanwhile, the greatest disadvantage of e-learning according also to this study is having a technical problem, which received the highest rating of 92.9%, 52 votes in total. Number 5, e-learning approach is somewhat effective in terms of increasing the knowledge, academic skills, and social competencies of the students. But, number 6, the traditional face-to-face approach was preferred more by the students as it extremely effective in increasing their knowledge, academic skills, and social competencies. Number 7, the students prefer doing activities in face-to-face basis rather than doing it online. Number 8, although majority of the students got the higher grades during this time of pandemic, some of them experience internet issues or problems during their online classes. And last but not the least, e-learning approach for the students of Carlos P. Romulo Senior High School during pandemic school year 2020 to 2021 is somewhat enjoyable.
This type of distance learning, which is generally known as online education, plays a vital role in the country's education system. This study examines the implication of online education among students, especially in a private or public higher learning institution, and its effects on the Philippine national education system. Several problems have been identified, and these issues have to be solved in order to sustain the quality of education for future generations. Furthermore, the Department of Education should formulate a standard policy, monitor closely the implementation of distance learning education, evaluate and review the method used in teaching, and upgrade to maintain the quality of distance learning education in both public and private for the continuation of education. Based on the conclusion of the study, the recommendation was hereby presented. For the student, it is very important that they know what type of learning style they are capable of. They must be also manage the time well in order to be able to concentrate on their lessons. For parents, they must be aware of their child's activities in order to prevent them from being disturbed. For the government, they must focus on the implementation of the Wi-Fi in public places. This strategy will help minimize the difficulties of the students in accessing the internet. For the teachers, instead of textbook, they should prepare the video compilation of the lecture. This strategy will help the students understand the concept of the lesson. For the future researchers, the study needs to continue and develop new ideas in order to provide useful informations.